Project SWOLE week number 2. Small man with a big plan right here, and I have got a training program for you. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, what is Project SWOLE? Check out video 1 that I posted last week for some background. It talks about how I ended up spending several weeks in and out of hospital, and how I was wrecked by the Gains monster, and how I will be transforming back to where I was from the current physique of a 9-year-old girl that I am right now. I will be training for pure hypertrophy, hence the name Project SWOLE, and I want you to join me on this journey. So I've got a training program for you that you are very welcome to follow, and right now I'm kind of low 70s or high 60s, currently a petal blowing in the wind, up from 68, 69 kilos that at my lowest straight after hospital and being treated with all kinds of nasty things. So luckily, the good news is that physiques have a sticky quality. They have set points, and you may have heard about set point theory before, muscle memory, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is the good news for you. If you have had a similar time over, move that way, there we go, similar time over Christmas, maybe you've been ill as well, maybe you've also, you've just had a blowout, you can get back to your previous state much more easily than someone if they were to be trying to reach that for the first time. Now, the first advantage is anabolic signaling. So I'm going to post an article below by a guy called Subversity, who is a monster. He's a professor of nutrition and exercise science. And he looks at some studies that say that if you take some time off training, 12 days off training is enough to reset your sensitivity to anabolic signaling. That way you get more of a response from training, and you can then again, your muscles have stopped the resistance to muscle damage, which is kind of an adaptive response because they're getting battered all the time. So you can almost restore and get noob gains once again if you take some time off training, suggesting that there is a benefit to taking time away from the gym from time to time. Also, if you've taken time off, or if you've not been able to train for a week or 2 weeks at a time, you'll know that there are some distinct visual changes that happen. You feel softer, you look a bit more flat and flabby. Now, the good news is as well, is that some of these visual changes are more from the loss of myogenic tone, so just the resting tone of the muscle, as well as glycogen. It's not actually pure muscle loss or fat gain in all cases. Now, that's the good news aside. I also had a question from someone saying, in these 2 pictures, surely it's not a full 9 or 10 kilo weight loss because of dehydration and so on. To answer that question, that was 10 kilos of true weight loss, because the 69 kilos was after rehydrating and refeeding. So I probably, in total, maybe gone from 78, 79 kilos down to maybe 67 and then rehydrated back up. So I hope that answers the question. Right, so on to the training program. Now, this is going to be a 4 days per week program. So although there are 3 days programmed, you can just rotate it. So days 1, 2, 3, and days what? So over a week, you'd have, say, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You would do day 1, 2, 3, 1, and then the next week you would do 2, 3, 4, 1, etc. So no, 2, 3, 1, 2. Bloody hell! Hopefully that makes sense. If not, just do one of the days every other day and rotate through, and that'll all make sense. So this is phase 1. I didn't say this would be an exciting training program, but I'm going to talk you through it. This is just about getting back into training again, so there's no heavy lifting here. It's all about just getting back into the routine and building your strength back up, and then we're going to start making some changes. So Monday's workout, we've got sets of three sets of 10 to 12, so seated dumbbell press, pull-ups hitting a total number of 30 over as many sets as needed. Split squats, so these are done holding dumbbells with your rear foot elevated on a bench behind you. Stir the pot, done with a Swiss ball on your knees, rotating like that. This foot, that's for your abs. Front levers, building up to 60 seconds in total, and then some kind of rear delt movement. You can do that with dumbbells or with a machine or a band. So I'm going to talk through the progression as well of what 3 sets of 10 to 12 actually means. That's all included in the spreadsheet that I'm going to let you guys download below. Now, over this program as well, there are some kind of gymnastic-y movements. Feel free to substitute them with machine work. I'm just doing that because, as you know, that's my background. Next day, bench press. So we have 3 sets of 8 to 10. Pull-ups, again, building up to 30 total. We will increase that number over the weeks. Glute ham raise, 3 sets of 10 to 12. You can load it if you want to. Push downs, so ropes with a tricep rope push down. Cable row, side plank, 3 sets of 12 seconds. Rather than progressing the amount of time, focus on progressing the amount of stiffness that you can generate. And breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. Palov press. So the Palov press is done with cables, where you have a single cable attachment and you're standing and doing that. As you may have seen people do it. I'll include a video if anyone's confused about this. And forearms. Any forearm movement of your choice for 3 sets of 20. My choice is going to be barbell behind the back, extending out to the wrist so your palms are facing behind you, and you roll it out all the way to your fingers, and then close your fingers up and flex your wrists. I'm doing that just because grip is one of the big things that seems to fall off the cliff when you haven't trained in a while, and that's often the limiting factor with the rest of your training. I've also got some golfer's elbow, so always helpful to slowly strengthen that once again. Final day, chest press. So 3 sets of 12 to 15, so higher range with this. This can be any kind of machine chest press of your choice, or you can substitute with dumbbell bench press, for example. Chest supported barbell row, so lying face down on a bench with a barbell in front, 3 sets of 10 to 12. Seated machine press, again, lateral raise, self-explanatory. Handstand press-ups, once again, we are building up to 25 total reps. Chest to wall if you've done handstands before, or back to wall if you're new to handstands. L-sits, so these are done on the dip bar, as if you were about to do a set of dips, but you're facing the opposite way, raising your feet up like that. Someone's knocked on the door, but I'm going to ignore them because you guys are more important. Stretch, yep. Do 3 stretches that you find are particularly tight areas for you. Might be hips or hip flexors, or this guy's getting annoyed at the door. I'm still going to ignore him. And just hold the stretch for 21 breaths rather than looking at the clock. Finally, face pulls, 3 sets of, don't worry about trying to catch that. I'll include it all in the spreadsheet. Okay. So as I said, it's not the most exciting program for now. If you want something to track your training with, I will be using Heavyset, which is a fantastic app. There. And it gives you a total volume graph of how much volume you've used, or how much total volume you're accumulating over the weeks, and also keeps track of your PBs and your maxes and all of that stuff too. So, Heavyset, it's free, Android and iPhone, I think, great app. Now, this program, you may be looking at it and think that it's lower volume than you're used to. Remember, I'm writing this with my kind of suppressed capacity in mind. The program will change and increase over the weeks. So if you've had some time off training over Christmas, start easy and build it back up. You may also notice that there's no calf work in the program. That's because while I was in hospital, one of the complications that I got was nerve compression from a herniated disc, and so I can't actually extend my left foot. So I'm going to wait until I see the neurosurgeon and physio before I start doing any kind of calf work. So that is it. My suggestions for you guys as we go along are, number 1, track your PBs as if they are new. So as if you're fresh to training. Don't try and get back to your previous numbers straight away. And as we always recommend, daily weigh-ins, weekly photos, and 8 weekly measurements. So if you can do that, you've got this trifecta. You can triangulate your progress and make sure that you are moving in the way that you want to go. All right, so that's it for episode 2 of Project SWOLE. Let me know if you have any questions. Download the spreadsheet below where you can start the training program, and check out that article that I mentioned about anabolic signaling. If you want any kind of further guidance, you can book in a call with us, and we will personally take you through your goals, any kind of obstacles, and see if you want to join us for Team Propane and accelerate your progress. Tune in for the next episodes of Project SWOLE, where I'll be talking about how I found out that I don't have AIDS, and also some insights and tips for you to recover from Christmas and maintain your progress, as well as diet, supplements, all of that stuff over the next few weeks. Alright guys, speak to you soon.